All right. So now for the material. So let's just right click here in our material folder and go to create material. We'll call this one matte underscore sparkle underscore 01. And by default, there's this thing called shaders. It's kind of like a way to explain what the settings of a material work. So if we have an opaque shader, it's always going to be opaque. So assigning a texture that is meant to be transparent is not gonna work. Uh, Actually, let's just restart this. And why didn't the pause button work? Does it have to do with sub emitters? It could be. You know what? I'll just duplicate my explosion and what have I done? Duplicate my explosion and drag it out there. So now my explosion is no longer. I have a duplicate of the explosion that is no longer part of the prefab over there. And yeah, I guess sub emitters can't be paused or something. So I'm just gonna click restart and pause it here. So now we have like our effect in a pause state, and we can go and change the material over here in the renderer tab. This is a very important tab, by the way, that I forgot to cover in the other videos. Um, so yeah, let's go to material, and now if I assign this new material that we just created, it's an opaque material. So obviously, billboards, they're just quads that are always facing the camera, and now they're just opaque, so they're just opaque squares. But now that we have assigned our material there, any change that we do in here is going to instantly be reflected there. So let's change the shader to something that is meant to be used with particles. So you can click over here on the drop down menu where it says shader. You can go to particles, and let's just go to standard unlit. Unlit means that no matter what the light is in the scene, it's not going to be affected by the shadow or stuff like that that are created by other objects, other settings of the scene. By default, it's set to opaque, but we're gonna set it to fade, and color mode is going to be set to, I think color is the one we want. And albedo is where you plug your texture. So now you can click on the texture folder on the left side over here, and there is no texture. That is because I saved it in a separate folder. It's called art, and in there you can see sparkle. So all you need to do is copy that file, go back to your project in the file explorer, go under assets, and over here the folders that you see are the folders that you're seeing there. So go in VFX, texture, and paste it there. And now you'll see it has appeared here, and you can assign this one there. And now we got these sparkles. And if we go back on the particle system, what is it that I wanted to do? You can change the color as we did before. And yeah, you might think that the colors are really kind of darkish for something that is supposed to be sparkly. Blame it on Unity. So let's just drag it here. In Unreal, you can by default um, use HDR colors, which kind of boost up the value, and they also, at one point when it's very bright, there's a post effect that makes a glow around the particles. In Unity, you don't get this in the default package. It's ugly. It's just the way it is. So anyway, we've got these sparkles over here, and I don't know if for some reason you would like your sparkles to be like an X instead of a plus sign. You can just change the start rotation and set it to 45, and now you have these sparkles over here. You could say, you could say random between 0 and 360, so they're all at a different random value. But I find that for sparkles it doesn't work because you see, a sparkle really is always kind of just a small point, and whatever you're kind of seeing stretched out would be, I don't know, like a lens effect or something. And it's kind of weird to explain it that way because you might not be wearing glasses like I am, but the principle applies to the eyes at the same time. So what I'm trying to explain with this is that uh, that sort of effect is usually always exactly in the same direction for all of the sparkles. Um, if I were, I don't know, to just open up Google and type sparkle anime. Let's see. Yeah, see over here. Well, I guess, okay, yeah, they have different shapes, but as you can see, like it's mostly X's. I guess some of them are plus signs, but you don't really get an in between, you know? You don't, they're all exactly aligned the same way. And I guess it's a kind of an artistic choice, whichever you choose. See over here, they're all plus signs. You don't see some of them bent halfway. Uh, here's some random art. Same thing. That person understood that all sparkles need to be aligned exactly in the same direction. So, so yeah, make your sparkles. Choose an alignment. If you want to do like in that picture we just saw where there are two alignments, I guess you'd have no choice but to have two particle system. One where the sparkles are at 45 degrees and one where they're at 0 degrees. But we don't need a second one for this. So anyway, now we have our material. Let's just go apply it to our actual sparkles from our firework over here. So yeah, don't try to assign a texture in a material slot. Texture is not a material. Now if I click restart, and yeah, I have to give them the color again. There we go. Alright, so let's actually do, let's get our hands dirty. Let's just go through a lot of little things that we can change to make it better. This is ugly, like it's a big blob. It just instantly disappears, and then you see the sparkles, the explosion. So let's give it a size over life. And let's set it back to be looping for the sake of being able to work fast. Alright, so now it gets smaller before it explodes. It's kind of weird that it's starting to get smaller from the moment it spawns, but it's also too big for now. I'm gonna put it down to 0.5. I'm gonna set this to last longer, to take longer between each loop. Yeah, I like it better like this. Okay, and I'm going to move this curve over here so that it only starts shrinking as it's about to reach the end. And maybe, if I drag the last key back a little bit, it's going to give, yeah, it gives a sort of a very small, a very small time where it's invisible, as if like it's disappeared and then it blows up. I think it makes a cool effect. Um, the sparks, the explosion, there's more work we can do on that. I'm actually gonna speed up now because I took so much time explaining a lot of stuff. Alright, so what can we change about this? The color looks kind of faded. I'm going to just tweak the texture. Hold on.